So this morning we have Melanie Cobb from Landmark Recovery Center. Melanie is a Jefferson City native with a passion for helping her community. She is currently the director of the newly founded Landmark Recovery Center in Jefferson City, Missouri. The center's mission is to provide help for today and hope for tomorrow to people who struggle with substance abuse and mental health disorders. The center is dedicated to provide training, resources, and peer support to those in need. Melanie graduated with an associate's degree in business management and has numerous credentials with the state of Missouri in the field of substance abuse disorder support and management. As a person in long-term recovery herself, she knows firsthand the challenges that come with recovery. Her personal experience, paired with her education, has given her a unique opportunity to merge her passion with her profession. So she's here to talk a little bit about that today and how maybe it connects with some of our caregivers and how we can help support those with substance abuse or mental disorders. All right, Melanie, it's all yours.
All right. Hello, everybody. So like my introduction said, I'm the director here at Landmark Recovery Center. We started last September. We are a staff of 3 peer support specialists and a community resource specialist, an office manager. I'm the director, and then I have someone who is like my counsel above me, who's not a paid staff but helps me make decisions. We like to consider ourselves, you walk in here and you basically get a big hug from all of us. And we try to help every single person that comes in. We haven't had any issues where we couldn't help resolve them yet because of our combined experience and knowledge of the resources available to help people who are struggling with mental illness and substance use disorders. The thing about us is that we help people who are the family members of the people also. So, I'm going to give you a little bit of a spiel, but the main point of this presentation is to talk about how what we do can help you and what you're struggling with as being a kinship caregiver. So, we're located in Jefferson City, Missouri, 204 Metro Drive, and right now our hours are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. Our goal is to be 24 hours one day through volunteers and just expansion. There's such a need in the community down here that we don't foresee that taking very long to achieve. And we have such a huge community here that are willing to help in any way that they can. So that's our goal. So I got to thinking a little bit about what are the biggest challenges for kinship caregivers, and I just thought of a few, and hopefully you guys agree with some of these, but child care is an issue, co-parenting with the parents if you have to have them involved in all the processes, the financial strain, the stress in general of pickups and drop-offs and visitations and scheduling and all of that. We try to help with all of that in some way. Some ways are smaller than others, but having a child taken from a parent and put in a different situation is a traumatic event for the child and is a traumatic event for the kinship caregiver as well. It sometimes can come out of the blue, and you have to just handle it as best as you can and try to do what's right for the child. And that is a huge stressor. So we have done our best to try to help with some of those stresses, as I'll talk about going forward. So one thing that you may not know is what recovery actually is. You may or may not, but I'm just going to go over it a little bit. So Recovery is a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential. With that broad of a definition, anybody can be in recovery. I personally think that everybody can, every single person on this planet can benefit from some kind of a recovery process to become better versions of themselves on a day-to-day basis, just constantly striving to do better and be a better person. We don't ever turn anyone away. We are primarily for people who struggle with substance use and mental health, but we have groups that are designed for family members. So we have classes that I'm going to have someone come in and speak for a minute on some of them, but basically we have what's called Celebrate Recovery. So Celebrate Recovery also has free childcare. So that's one of the ways that we help kinship caregivers get a break for an hour and a half on Wednesday nights. We have different topics that are talked about every Wednesday, and they're designed to focus on principles that help you function better and cope better. So like honesty, self-reflection, things like that. And at the same time, while the children are being taken care of, they're also learning a curriculum as well, so that at the same time they can address some of their own issues, have someone to talk to, have a group to depend on that is in their own age group. And a lot of times what we find is the people that come to that specific program, they are children who have shared the same experiences. We have several kinship families in this community, and they have discovered how to come together and depend on each other to get through their struggles. And that is one of the beautiful things about having a recovery center. So our one of our main things we wanted to do when we set out to do the recovery center was create that sense of community throughout the whole community here in Jefferson City. So if someone comes in and they feel like they're alone, like what Yvette was talking about, and they feel like they're completely alone, we connect them to people who can help them to where people know they're not alone, because they see all the support that is out there that they just don't know is out there. The support network that we've built since September is pretty miraculous. We've created partnerships with people all across the state. The recovery center, let's say that your kinship child, let's say that their parent is in prison. We can work with the prison system to get people to treatment so that they can actually get help with their mental health before they come out, so that they can attempt to take steps forward towards becoming a fit parent again. And we transport people all over the state to different treatment centers. We can transport for substance use or mental health. So if they just need to go to a mental institution for a few weeks to get on the right medication so that they'll be functioning when they get out of there, we'll even help them get home. And we are the people, we're like caseworkers, but we're not really trained for that. We're just that centralized person for each individual to be able to, all these different agencies that are working with them, we're that one person that can help them keep everything together. Because I don't know if you guys have experience with the mental health or substance use resources out there, but they can be confusing to navigate. And so we have that experience here where if someone, it's the first time that their children have been taken into foster care and they get placed with, the grandmother can come straight in here and find all the resources to have that support to get through the whole process. We will go through and advocate let's say that you have to end up getting child support involved. You become, legal guardians. You become, you fully adopt the child. We go through that whole process with people, and we have the experience to just be the support there. So like, let's say you have a meeting with the child support people, we can go with you and just be there. If you have a court date where you're going to formally adopt the children, we can go with you to that. If you need help drafting a letter to read in court and you don't have the words to say, we can help with that. There are so many different things that we can do. Pretty much anything that is a struggle in the process of your day-to-day lives, we can help with. One thing that I do want to say is, you guys may not know what the warning signs are for mental illness. And so I do want to go over that a little bit, because there are things in life that you learn to deal with, and you don't even realize that life is becoming harder and harder and harder to function, and you don't know why, and you keep trying to find relief. And sometimes it can be where you actually have an underlying condition that you need taken care of, that can help you in your day-to-day life, that would make things so much easier if you addressed. And so I do want to talk a little bit about what the warning signs for mental illness are. The first one is long-lasting irritability. Then we have extreme high and low moods, excessive fear, worry, and anxiety, social withdrawal, and dramatic changes in eating and sleeping habits. Now, if you notice these things about yourself, there are places you can go just to get a wellness checkup. You're not going to be labeled with something if you go to just get a checkup. It's like going for a physical for your mental health. And then you can truly and accurately get an idea of if you need to focus on your mental health a little more. Not everything is a catastrophic disorder. Sometimes you just need to do a little maintenance for your mental health. Just like these mindfulness minutes that Yvette just had us do, those are an amazing tool to help with the stress of what you guys are going through. Let's see here. So let's say that you have people in your specific situation that are dealing with mental illness. We have what's called NAMI Family to Family Support Group here, once a month on the third Tuesday of the month from 6 to 8 p.m. That is where you can go and specifically get help and support from other people who have family members with substance use disorders or mental health. So that has become a huge blessing to us. NAMI stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So they are like the experts of mental illness in the state of Missouri. And we have partnered with them so that we can accurately teach these groups and facilitate these groups. We also are NAMI Basics teachers here. So there are different things that NAMI does to just help educate on mental illness. Let's say that the child you're caring for they have mental illness and you're not sure how to handle that, and you just keep doing the best that you can, but you want to get better and gain knowledge. NAMI is the people to call. They are just a wealth of knowledge and support and information if the child you are caring for has mental illness or you are suffering from mental illness. So peer support specialists, I don't know if you guys know what they are, so I'm just going to go over that too. The 3 peer support specialists we have on hand, they are people with lived experience who have been trained to support those who struggle with mental health, psychological trauma, or substance use. So let's say any of you came in to our center today. You would walk in, fill out this little questionnaire. It's basically so that we know how to best help you. It's just like a page long. We're not a big paperwork place. You would come in, and then a peer would immediately come and talk with you and try to find out what you need help with. Some people come in and they sit down and they say, I don't know what I need, but I can't keep going the way that I'm going. The peer's job is to help the individual learn what steps they need to take next. And that information comes within the individual. We don't ever tell people what to do here. They decide what to do for themselves. We help them set goals, and we help them achieve what goals they set. So actually, there's a group we have called Supporting Addicted Loved Ones that I'd like Angela to talk about real quick if she could. Yes. So I'm going to let her talk. That one is Thursday nights, and Thursday afternoon. And so she's going to talk about that for just a minute.
Hello, I'm Angela Thompson, and I lead a support group called Supporting Addicted Loved Ones. I became passionate about this subject because I am in personal recovery going on 7 years. And when I got into recovery, I still had a lot of loved ones struggling in addiction. And, the loved ones of people in addiction have their own struggles, they hurt too. And so I wanted to have a group about supporting one another in that. And right now, we're a small group. We're going through a book called Stop Loving Your Kids to Death by John Stroop, who is a friend of mine and a pastor in personal recovery, who also, wrote the book for the loved ones. And the way this group is going right now is we read through a chapter together, and at the end of the chapters, there are questions, they're discussion questions. So that's what we're doing right now. And when the book ends, I don't have a plan yet for what curriculum we're going to use, but we're going to continue the group because it's going really well. And I know we have at least one lady in our group that it's really been eye-opening. She really can be enabling, and that's really, the group is all about really teaching us how to support one another and still love and be there for our loved ones in addiction without enabling, and just learning how not to do that. And it's been really eye-opening for her. She is realizing that she's really been enabling her son and her husband. The book is called Stop Loving Your Kids to Death, but it really speaks to people with any loved one in addiction. So yeah, we don't limit that to just children. And I did not know about you guys' organization. I think a group like this could really benefit you all, because my guess would be that a lot of grandparents and family members end up raising children as a result of a loved one in addiction. So, well, thank you for letting me speak.
So thank you, Angela, for that. So she's been doing that group, so I really wanted her to speak to it. All right. So like I was saying, whenever people come in, we just help them find the guidance that they're looking for within themselves. So some people come in and they say, every day is a struggle. I just can't seem to get through the day. I have all these responsibilities, and I can tell that my blood pressure is through the roof, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Can you help me? So the peer would immediately sit down with them and just say, well, what makes it so hard? What are your responsibilities? How do you approach different challenges? And we try to help them come to different understandings about different coping skills, different stress management, if they have struggles with codependency, or they may even have an underlying mental health issue. We don't ever tell someone that they have a mental health issue. They tend to discover it on their own once they make progress and come to the center and work towards wellness with us. We tend to find that people have anger management issues. They also tend to have, questions about parenting. If you get handed your grandchild, things are so different sometimes sometimes in the way that you raised your kids, and you're thinking, how do I raise this child in this day and age? Things are so different, 20, 30 years later. We have parenting classes here on Monday nights. We also have anger management right after that, so that people can get both on Monday nights. Parenting is a 6-week course, and we provide certificates for that. It's also free. Everything that we do here is free. That's one thing I forgot to mention. That's very important. The topics that they cover in parenting are building a partnership with your children, child development, healthy family communication, sensible discipline, self-care for parents, and it says and more, but I know there's a lot more. So if you guys are interested in that, you can always reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat. Anger management, they cover things like sources of anger, domestic violence, handling anger and resolving conflict, qualities of assertive behavior, how to stop anger, changing your thinking, and problem solving. We're very happy about this set of classes on Monday nights because we see people transform. We have one kinship family here that is a grandmother taking care of her grandchild. She came in and she wanted help with coping with the stress of all of a sudden raising her grandchild, Bella. So Bella is 5 years old and exerting a lot of angry behaviors, and she was having a hard time controlling her, and she wanted her to be able to go into play dates with other kids and not be bullying them, things like that. So come to find out that Bella was actually mimicking her behaviors, and she didn't realize that. So at this point, when she realized that, she decided to do anger management and parenting classes. And since then, she has realized that she's had an anger issue her whole life and didn't realize it. She thought she was coping just fine. But now that she saw those behaviors mirrored in her grandchild, she decided to do something different. And now Bella doesn't exert those angry behaviors anymore because she's not seeing them modeled at home. And things go a lot smoother for Rachel. Rachel's one of our kinship caregiver successes, as far as she seems to enjoy her life more now and has achieved a new level of wellness. She comes in and shows us the quilts that she does. She at one point, when she first came in, she couldn't even sit down long enough to do one of her favorite hobbies. And now she makes quilts and has her creative outlet, which is part of her mental health care routine that she now does. And she is so proud of it. And she is just flourishing, taking some time for herself and getting better. So we love her. If I let her come on here and talk right now, she would talk your ear off, because we love her. We love her so much. And she considers us family, and that's how we want people to view us, because we care about people that much. Part of that, I feel like, is because we've been through struggles and we have the experience to know how to reach out our hands and say, we know what it's like to not want to get up in the morning and handle an unruly child. Like, we know what it's like to get up and have to deal with difficult people. We know what it's like to feel like you can't handle what you have to do that day, and so we get to have that lived experience is something that you can't teach sometimes in school. That gives us a unique perspective on how to help people through the process of getting better. One thing about recovery is that when people come here, they want to know that we can help them first and foremost, but then they see all the people around them that are also in this recovery center, just hanging out, laughing, having a good time. Some people don't even realize that they haven't laughed for who knows how long. and we try to give people that spark of life back. We have community events that are free. People are welcome to come to. We have barbecues once a month. We are going on a float trip in like 2 weeks where we try to help specifically people who feel alone. You know, they don't get out, they don't do anything. You know, they're exhausted at the end of the day. They don't have any friends. So we have like this float trip coming up. We sponsored 40 people to come on this float trip, and the people who sign up for free tickets, a great portion of those are kinship families, because of the strain of all of a sudden having another child to take care of usually is financially hard. So we try to help in that way, where they can have family friendly fun with other people that are also, you know, getting our services, that are trying to do the same thing. We have a whole calendar of events every month. We try to help people in any way that we can. Anybody who can't afford a haircut, we do free haircuts. We have a lady who's in recovery who donates a day out of every month just to give people in recovery haircuts. One thing about us also that you should know is that we support all pathways to recovery. So we're not a faith-based organization. We welcome our center to any pathway to recovery. So we have people in here from AA for alcohol. We have people in here from NA for Narcotics Anonymous. We have, you know, the Celebrate Recovery, like what I was talking about, is more broad, and that's more faith-based, but non-denominational. We have the NAMI groups. Those aren't faith-based. Those are non-denominational. Any pathway to recovery is a pathway we support. So it doesn't matter if someone is on medication to help them not use heroin. We don't care. We don't look down on them like that. That is not something that is something to be ashamed of. You know, that is a way to achieve wellness, and we support things like that if that is someone's pathway to recovery. Behavioral health disorders are actually really broad. So, you know, anxiety, depression, worrying too much, anything that makes getting through the day harder is usually a behavioral health or mental health disorder. Anything that interferes with your major life activities is a problem that usually can be fixed if you're willing to take some steps. We do a lot of advocacy here. So we can, let's say someone has to prove that they're a fit parent. If one of those things is to pass UAs every so often, we can do those urine tests here, and we can create those documents to be presented in court that shows that on this day at this time they had a negative UA, and we can put exactly all the times that they have came into our center and have done UAs. We can do up to one a week per person. So we help with that too. So we have a community resource specialist here. I haven't really spoke much about her, but she helps people find jobs. She helps people get enrolled in school. She helps people find the clothing that they need to do job interviews. She helps people write statements for police reports. She helps people sign up for Medicaid, for Medicare, for food stamps, for public housing, for rental assistance. If you have a form that you need filled out, she's the one that's going to help you. She also helps people find housing. We have several partnerships around Jefferson City where if someone all of a sudden loses their home, we can try to help them find another one. And there are agencies that help pay first month's, last month's rent and deposit, depending on the situation, and try to assist to help people not lose their children to begin with as best we can in any preventative measure. We have a great relationship with the Cole County Jail. They have something called pretrial services. So if someone goes to jail and they're set to go to trial, or they have a court date, but they really need mental health treatment or substance use treatment. We work with them to go pick them up from jail, take them to treatment, and bring them back. The surprising facts, I looked up a few just to give you guys some numbers. In state prisons, those who've been diagnosed with a mental health disorder are 43%. Like, that's amazing. I didn't know that until I looked that up. And in local jails, it's 44%. So how many people are in jail that actually just need to get some treatment for their mental health disorders or their substance use disorders? And then if you didn't have a mental health disorder when you went to jail or prison, when you come out, you're likely to have one. And that is a shame. You're likely to have PTSD, anxiety, impaired decision-making, depression, just difficulty coping with stressful situations. And we try to help people avoid prison as best as we can. We work with people like Treatment Court here in Jefferson City. If they need bus passes to help get them to and from their their program requirements, we will get people bus passes. If they need an ID and a birth certificate to even sign up for certain programs that are available to avoid prison, that's actually a treatment program, we'll pay for their ID and their social security card, and we'll take them to go get it. We have people here in town that let us use their addresses for mailing addresses, so that people who are coming straight out of prison who don't have a mailing address can get their things sent to a relatively easy place, convenient location, to just try to make things easier for people to get back on their feet. Also, we let anybody use our space that needs it. So we have people, let's say that you need to do a pickup and drop off with your child's parent, maybe you're co-parenting. You can do that here under supervision and under camera if you need that. And we have cameras here that make us a safe drop-off location for things like that. If you need to have a conversation with the parent of the child that you're helping raise, you can have that inside of our facility in a private room, and one of us can be present just to make sure that there is an impartial, non-biased party there to be a witness. Our center has basically, we rented a space from the church that is at this location. So we're basically like the right wing of this church, but the church has allowed us to use the entire building if we need to. So we have some groups that are closer to 100 people that we have to use the big sanctuary for. We have different people in town that use our space to meet in person because it's a very centralized location. Jefferson City is for many of the organizations here in the state. So they come and use our facility because it is Zoom compatible. In person, so that there's a hybrid function. So if you guys ever needed a location, we let people use it for free. Anything that could help the recovery community flourish, get more tight-knit, get people connected, that's what we do here. And one thing I just want to say is that if there are some things that we do for, resources that are specific to you guys, to kinship caregiver families. And we want to help the entire family and let you guys know that if you're taking care of a loved one's child as a temporary basis, and you're just hoping that your loved one gets the help they need to be able to care for their own child again, there's hope. People come through our recovery center and they achieve wellness. Recovery is a day by day choice to constantly try to get better and do better. And we have proof here in our recovery center day in and day out that it is possible, and that all hope is not lost. And if there's anything that you guys need, more information about or would like to sign up for, we have a website, landmarkrecoveryjcmo.com. We have a Facebook, and I will put my information in the chat as well. And if there's anything at all that you guys need, we can create a group for it. That's just where we're at right now. Anything we can do to help. And so I hope that you guys got something out of this presentation, and thank you for letting me speak to you guys today.
I had a couple of questions. So I guess the class or the group that meets on Thursday afternoons, is that via Zoom, or is that hybrid, or is it in person?
It's in person, but if there was people interested in doing a Zoom option, we could set up a laptop and do that.
Well, I was just curious because a lot of these folks live outside of Cole County.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that information might be beneficial to some of these caregivers. So, yeah, if you want to put your info in chat, and then also I have your information that I can share with our Kin for Kid line. And if they, they would like some information or would like to join that conversation, they can reach out to you.
Sure.
So, and then are you familiar with any programs in any other county throughout the state that provide services like yours?
Yeah, so there are lots. Lots and
That's
lots
good to know. Okay.
Yes, so I know that there is a statewide list that I can try to get to you so that you can disperse it. Yeah, because we are a recovery community center and we're grant funded, and the grant was because they have had so much success all over the state that they wanted to add more of them. And so I know that there are plenty, so I will get that out to you.
That would be great. Like I said, a lot of these folks live outside of Central Missouri. So do you allow folks that live outside of Cole County to join your groups? Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, before I turn it over to the hostess with the mostest, are there any more comments or questions? Thank you, Melanie.